As I settled in to watch Bye Bye, Earth Season 2 Episode 3, which aired on April 18, 2025, I was both eager and apprehensive. The series has a reputation for being a beautiful enigma, and this episode, streaming on Crunchyroll, didn't disappoint in either its ambition or its ability to leave me scratching my head. I think this episode is a microcosm of the show's strengths and flaws, weaving together stunning visuals, intriguing character moments, and a narrative that feels like it's daring you to keep up. Below, I'll dive into the episode through several themes: story and pacing, character development, world building, visuals and sound, and emotional impact, to unpack why this episode kept me glued to my seat, even as I occasionally wanted to throw my hands up in frustration. Let's start with the story, which, I must admit, continues to be as clear as mud. The episode picks up with Belle Lablack, our human protagonist in a world of anthropomorphic animals, grappling with Gwyn's revelations about Schwertland's God King and the raven blossoms that prevent the dead from becoming sacred ashes. I really appreciate how the show doesn't spoon-feed answers, but I personally don't understand why it insists on layering every plot point with cryptic dialogue and abstract metaphors. For example, Gwyn's plea to change the world feels weighty, but the specifics of his plan are so vague that I found myself rewinding to see if I missed something. The episode moves briskly, shifting from Gwyn's rallying speech to Belle's introspective moments with Bennett, then to a tense tease of Adonis and Kitty the all plotting against her. I also anticipate that the hinted reunion between Belle and Adonis, which the episode cleverly dangles, will be a major payoff soon. That said, I didn't like how the episode ended on yet another cliffhanger without resolving any of the questions raised in the first 10 minutes. It's thrilling, sure, but I'm starting to feel like the show is stringing me along with promises of clarity that never arrive. Still, the narrative's audacity to be this obtuse while keeping me invested is something I can't help but admire. Belle remains the heart of Bye Bye, Earth, and I really appreciate how Episode 3 showcases her growth. Her decision to delay her nomad journey to help Gwyn feels like a natural evolution of her character. She's no longer just searching for her origins, but starting to carve out a purpose. I think Megan Shipman's voice acting, in the English dub, captures Belle's mix of determination and vulnerability perfectly, especially in her quiet scene with Bennett, where she confides her doubts. That moment felt raw and human, grounding the episode's otherwise lofty themes. Bennett, voiced by Sean Letourneau, is another standout. I love how his merperson nature, shifting genders based on imprinting, adds depth to his relationship with Belle. The idea that he's now blind and stuck in male form after absorbing her trauma is fascinating, though I personally don't understand why the show doesn't explain the mechanics of this change. It's a compelling plot point, but it feels like it's left dangling for the sake of mystery. I'm also intrigued by Gwyn. Ethan Condon's earnest delivery is spot on, but I'm against how little we know about his motivations beyond change the world. Characters like Adonis and Kitty the All, meanwhile, feel underutilized. Their scenes are brief and cryptic, and I didn't like how they're reduced to shadowy antagonists when they could be so much more. I hope future episodes give them the same care as Belle and Bennett. The world of Bye Bye, Earth is one of its biggest draws, and Episode 3 doubles down on its surreal, dystopian charm. I'm absolutely captivated by details like the raven blossoms and the catacombs' role in Schwertland's rituals. It's a world that feels alive and layered. The concept of a god king orchestrating battles for obscure reasons is chilling, and I think it hints at a larger commentary on power and sacrifice. But here's where I get frustrated. I don't think the show trusts its audience enough to explain the rules of this world. Why do the raven blossoms matter? What's the deal with this sister sword Colonel Collins mentions? I'm all for mystery, but when every piece of lore is shrouded in riddles, it starts to feel like the writers are hiding behind ambiguity. That said, I really appreciate how the episode uses its world to raise questions about identity and belonging. Belle's status as the only human ties directly into the merpeople's parasitic adaptability and Gwyn's rebellion against Schwertland's traditions. It's a rich thematic tapestry, and I anticipate that these threads will converge in a way that makes the confusion worthwhile. For now, though, I'm torn between awe at the world's creativity and irritation at its inaccessibility. If there's one thing Bye Bye, Earth does flawlessly, it's the presentation. Lidden Films' animation is breathtaking, and Episode 3 is no exception. I'm in love with the vibrant color palette. Belle's fiery red hair against the muted greens and grays of Schwartland creates a striking contrast. The action, though sparse, is fluid and dynamic, particularly in a brief flashback to the catacomb battle. I also think Yuki Hino's character designs are a highlight. Each anthropomorphic character feels distinct, from Gwyn's regal lion features to Bennett's ethereal merperson fluidity. Kevin Penkin's score is, as always, a standout, but I can't ignore the emotional whiplash caused by the plot's opacity. I didn't like how the episode's big reveals, like Gwyn's plan or the God King's machinations, felt distant because they were so poorly explained. It's hard to care about a world-changing mission when I'm not sure what's at stake. That said, I'm not against the show's ambition to tackle heavy themes like trauma, identity, and rebellion. When it lands, like in Belle's quieter moments, it's profoundly moving. I just wish the narrative gave me more to latch onto. I really appreciate how his music blends haunting piano melodies with sweeping orchestral swells, perfectly matching the episode's mix of introspection and tension. That said, I didn't like how the score occasionally overpowered the dialogue, especially during Belle and Bennett's heart-to-heart. It felt like the music was trying to force emotion rather than letting the scene breathe. The opening theme, Aufheben by Huya Extended, is an energetic banger that got me pumped, though I'm less sold on the ending theme, Moonwork by Asuka, which feels a bit too mellow for the episode's cliffhanger vibe. Bye Bye Earth Season 2 Episode 3 is a paradox. A beautifully crafted, emotionally charged installment that's as frustrating as it is captivating. I love its ambition, its visuals, and its core characters, but I'm against its refusal to offer even a sliver of clarity. I think fans of dense, abstract storytelling will eat this up, while casual viewers might feel lost. Personally, I'm hooked enough to keep going, but I'm crossing my fingers that the show starts answering questions soon. For now, this episode is a testament to the series' ability to keep me on the edge of my seat, even when I'm not entirely sure what I'm watching. If you're along for the ride, I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I'm still trying to make sense of this wild, wonderful mess.